I'm registered dietitian Abby Sharp, and on my new podcast, Bite Back with Abby Sharp, I'll be dismantling the multi-billion-dollar diet industry that keeps us in a cycle of self-loathing and food fear. Join me every Tuesday for expert interviews, engaging conversations, and my signature science and sass to bust myths, correct misinformation, and help you break free from diet culture for good. Listen for free on the Seeker app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Things, and there is a big list. I don't want to miss anything, but things that we miss, reasons we miss Joe, okay, here in the studio. He's on vacation. He's gone to Vegas just for a couple of days. He'll be back next week. Good for him. He loves getting away to Vegas. Mm-hmm. His second favorite place on earth, I would say, right behind Winnipeg.
Oh, God,
There's no question.
Like, if he could have a home there and his home here, he would be living his best life.
Someday I could see it. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he had a plan. But then again, he loves staying on the Strip, right? That's the only thing about getting a joint in Vegas is you want to stay on the Strip, and he likes staying in hotels.
Well, he's been venturing off Strip lately.
Has he?
Yeah, the last couple of trips I've paid attention. He said that he's gone to a few restaurants and stuff off the Strip. So, you never know.
Okay, now to the reasons we miss Joe. Number one, the lighting in here, and this is new because of our new digs here on Scurfield. We moved out of Osborne Village, a beautiful new studio. But the lighting, they gave us too much. It's all, and I want to blame you for this, Kirby. You were all in on fancy lighting.
I know. I kind of regret it. Trust me.
Yeah, and we can't control it. There's switches, and I feel like I'm at a rave. No, is there lots of lighting at a rave? Would it be more of a dance club? There's lots of lights. There's yellows and reds.
Club.
Well, where do you get lots of lights? I don't know. But
okay, well, yes, there's a lot of LED lights, which, by the way, have you noticed that they changed them to Christmas colors?
I did not notice
the red
that.
and then the green on the ground.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You said yesterday you wanted to decorate in here.
But I'm still gonna get that done.
It's these pot lights. These
over top of us.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a carton of French fries underneath a heat lamp with the pot lights. Yes. So, but Joe, the second he walks in, okay, Curbs, that's what he's on.
He's adjusting not only the lights, but the temperature of the room.
I was gonna get to that next. He doesn't even put his coat down or his briefcase, whatever he's got on him, his lunch. He doesn't even sit down or put anything before he starts in on the lights. The lights. Who the hell was messing around with the lights in here? And he starts, and he doesn't.
It's hot in here, guys.
No, that's next. The lights. So he starts with the lights. hasn't put anything down yet. He's on the lights, and then he gets them perfect. Is that good, Phil? Yeah, actually, Joe, well done. And he nails it. Then
I'm going to just say, by the way, I just agree. That works. I'm never going to say to him,
that's very true.
No, that's the thing is I'm never going to say to him, you know what? No, Joe, that's not enough light. I'm just yeah, that works for me. Yep.
He spends enough time on it that you're just yeah, good, man. And usually he gets it. I'll say that. So then once he does the lights, he turns his attention to the thermostat, which is that. Whew.
Yeah, that's where he's breathing.
It's hot in here. What the hell is going on? And he moves to, no wonder it's hot in here. Dude. He figures it all out and sets that up.
Meanwhile, he hasn't even taken off his suit jacket yet.
Then he sits down. No, he doesn't sit down yet. He puts all stuff down. Water. Gotta go refill.
Oh, yes. It's the water intake.
You do not know a human being who drinks as much. The guy, he makes you feel guilty about the amount of water intake you have.
He has to be the most hydrated human being I know. I'm telling you, his doctor must be so proud of him. Joe, you are getting your daily intake of water and then some.
And here I am, just coffee.
We're both dehydrated, living off of caffeine over here.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Auntie Beaver wants to talk about zippering.
Hey, Auntie Beaver here. Just want to say, on my morning commute this morning to work, and living in St. James, there's a big baloney construction thing because of a water main break right at Portage and Sturgeon.
Baloney.
I have to say congratulations to all the Winnipeg drivers that were around me at that time, because we have successfully learned how to zipper merge.
Ooh.
Now, this may have only been for a few minutes and only for the cars that were around me.
Yeah, don't get too excited.
But we got it done. Way to go, Peggers. let's keep it up. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, it's nice to see Winnipeggers. I mean, some of them begrudgingly let you in, but at least they get it.
Yeah, that's how we can work together.
You're right. Siren wants to weigh in on local sports teams.
Hello, Philly, Joe, and Kirby. Siren here, and all the great listeners. Okay, Winnipeg sports fans, you got to chill out. I mean, Bombers make it to the Grey Cup. We lose it. Okay, no big deal. We've had a winning season. Jets lose a couple games, and everybody's in an uproar. Come on, sports fans. At least we got winning teams, and it's good to watch. Ask Saskatchewan and Quebec, how's their NHL team doing?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yeah.
It went on and on. I added the
Well,
he can nail that.
I
like.
thank you for that.
Yeah,
I will say this, though. Like, one thing I've even learned about Winnipeg sports is that that's all it takes is a one loss, and we get down on ourselves. And it's so, like, I think it's, it's just because we have such passionate fan bases.
You nailed it. It's passion. And coaches around the league, GMs, will tell you they prefer that, a fan base that's on this team, accountability at all times, rather than fans who are like,
right.
Whoa.
And then pick it up at the very end of the season when we're like,
if they're any good.
Yeah.
Okay, I hesitate to play this, but everybody, if you call the Bone Phone, basically what I'm trying to say is we play Rider fans too here on the Bone Phone.
Hey, the Bombers choked again, eh? But it's always next year, eh? Just like the Riders.
Mm-hmm.
You give the Riders a hard time, and karma comes around. Bombers didn't do it again this year. Riders will do it next year.
You like the past 5 years, you mean?
Like
the Bombers have won the West for 5 years in a row, and we get a Rider fan talking smack? Come on.
he is aware, though, that, like, we were...
We beat the Riders in the West
Yeah.
Final? Yeah, anyway, it's what makes the CFL great, the rivalry between the Riders and Bombers. So, obviously, he's not going to cheer for the Bombers in the Grey Cup. If you're a Rider fan, you cheer against the Bombers, and that's fine.
And you know what? I saw a few of those in the crowd watching the Grey Cup game where it was just like there was like people wearing other team jerseys.
Yeah, you'll see that at the Grey Cup.
And I mean, one can hope, okay?
Yeah.
You keep hoping there, Rider fan.
We're getting these types of calls. People who knew it was Mark Messier with Who the Hell Is That second voice.
I've been trying to get in for 2 damn weeks. Mark Messier, my buddy, had it for 2 weeks already. Couldn't get in ever. Alex Trebek. It's like, geez, you guys. We had it like 2 weeks ago already. Nobody wants to answer the phone. What, do you got my number blocked?
Okay, so correction there. It's not a phone-in situation. It's a randomizer text-in.
Yeah, like when you text in the keyword that we were giving out, basically that registered your text message with your number to the randomizer, which then gave us a name and number, and then we called that number.
That's right. But hey, Who the Hell Is That is going to be back, like sooner than later. So,
And in the meantime, we've got another fun contest returning. So.
Big Dumb Wheel. That's right. That'll be back up and running very shortly. Okay, let's wrap with Lisa, who also, she didn't know it was Messier, but she seems confused a bit.
I would have been shocked.
Yeah. She seems to think Mark Messier was an actor.
I'm sorry, that's so funny. I never would have guessed Mark Mercier. I love Kids in the Hall. It was one of my favorite shows.
It wasn't on Kids in the Hall.
I love the flying pig guy. Oh, that's my pen. And he jumps on top of the car. Squish your head. You're not there. So I was like trying to figure out which guy it was.
Yep.
Anyway, cheers. Right on.
So stop trying to figure out which Kids in the Hall guy Messier was. He wasn't a kid.
How'd she pronounce it again? That's something I would say.
Here, let's go back.
I'm sorry, that's so funny. I never would have guessed Mark Mercier.
Mark Mercier.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Leave it to that guy Iron Mike, the boss, because we were chatting in your newscast, Kirby, about the fun hockey challenge, hockey game between a squad comprised and led by the mayor against the Premier. So we got Gillingham versus Kinew, basically.
Next Saturday, they're kind of like recreating this game from like 50 years ago against the then Premier and then Mayor.
Great idea.
And
I love it.
It's really exciting because, the first 250 people, by the way, to show up to that game, get free hot dogs and drinks. And who doesn't like that?
And where's this going to be at?
It's at the, where is it here? Let me just, the Gateway Rec Center.
Oh, Gateway. Yeah, great barn.
Next Saturday, 11:15 is when puck drop is.
So that'll be packed. And so, but we were wondering, or I was wondering, like who will have the advantage? And I was saying, I'm pretty sure Wob. I mean, we live in Canada. There's a good chance someone, you know what I mean, like hockey background. Like a lot of people.
Isn't it like a prerequisite to be a position of parliament? You have to have a some sort of like Canadian like ice skating background, whether it's figure skating or hockey,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Wob can play, and I was wondering about the mayor. And Iron Mike, our boss, sent us this. Gillingham was born in Brandon, raised on a mixed farm near Carman. A lifelong hockey player.
There you go.
Scott captained the Pembina Valley Hawks AAA midget team from 84 to 95, then played in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League for 4 seasons for the Steinbach Hawks, Dauphin Kings, and Winkler Flyers. So I'm right away.
Wow.
Right away, I'm like the mayor. When you play that level, you've got contacts who have played. So he's going to have no trouble assembling a pretty good team. But I got to know more about the Premier. So I'm going to dig into that and see what his hockey background is. I mean, he's a Premier of Manitoba. Assembling a team won't be a problem for him either. But they're both competitive. This is going to be fun. I think it's going to be good.
Well, and you're also going to see like some other city councilor members and stuff like that on these teams, and some people representing the province. It's just going to be an overall fun way to celebrate the anniversary of Winnipeg's 150.
Well, and it hasn't always been great relationships in the past, let's say, well, in the past in general, but certainly in the past 10 years between the province and the city. And, politics feels like it gets nastier every day in the world and locally and everything else. So I just love this idea. I think, have a fun hockey game like this. This program, we've met the mayor, we know the Premier, we know them both. They're both good guys. So the idea to throw together a hockey game like this is just a superb idea.
Listen, I already know who I'm cheering for because one of these contenders, Scott Gillingham, is my Instagram friend.
Oh, that's right.
And
that was a big move. Joe had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, he doesn't follow me, and I follow him, but he doesn't follow me.
The Premier. So we'll what now? If we can get the Premier to follow you,
well, then it's going to be a really tough decision for me on who I'm cheering for next Saturday.
We'll do some more digging and try to figure out who's going to have the advantage. We'd love to see more about the teams.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
It's time for the lock of the week. Lock it up. We've got a really good record this year. 2 of 3 last week. We've got 3 wins, so that means 3 weeks where we go 3 for 3 on playnow.com with our football picks. No Joe, and I'm mad that I didn't get a pick out of him before he left. And I'm not waking him up. He's in Vegas, so no chance I'm doing that. What we'll do, Kirby, is going to give you 2 picks because I know the direction you're going to go.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to guess.
It's been pretty standard all year. You either take your man Dan Campbell, whom you love, and the Detroit Lions, or you take the Kansas City Chiefs. And both those teams are always heavy favorites, so we pretty much know if you're going the direction I think you're going to go, those are 2 absolute locks, which is what we're doing here, lock of the week. So go ahead.
I'm going to take both.
We do need an extra pick.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm going to take. I know Joe wouldn't really agree with the pick because he would probably want a bit more of a serious pick.
No. Those are serious. Those are locks.
I think both the Detroit Lions and Kansas City Chiefs are going to pull out a win this weekend against, we've got the Colts taking on the Lions and the Panthers taking on the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Those are locks. Like Detroit's 7-point favorites over Indy, and KC is 11-point favorites over Carolina.
Yeah.
So you're taking both of those. Detroit will pay $1.25. And Kansas City, $1.14, both on the money line. A lot of people saying these are the 2 best teams in the NFL and look for them to possibly meet in the Super Bowl, which would be I'd take that. Detroit looks so good, and we know the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So, okay, Kirby's 2 picks. Love them both. Kansas City, and Detroit. And now I'm going to do something that I always advise against. I don't like doing it.
Are you taking your team?
But we need some money on this because there's no meat on this bone. We're not going to make any money if I go with another favorite. So the San Francisco 49ers are in Green Bay. I know. Hey, I also like the Vikings. If you're looking for a safer pick, the Vikings paying $1.56 in Chicago. So I like that one as well. But I'm going to, on our ticket, to try to beef it up, I'm taking the 49ers in Green Bay. The Niners are having a very disappointing season, Kirby, playing 500 football. If not now, when for them? Like always bet on the desperate team. They are far more desperate than Green Bay. They have to get winning. They're coming off a really disappointing loss, and they need this game more than Green Bay, and they always play well. I feel like they typically play pretty well in Green Bay.
Sounds like you're mad at your team.
I am.
You're not mad. You're just disappointed.
Yes, I am. All of the above.
And they're taking on, what is it, the cheeseheads?
Yes. Yes,
the
cheese
The
heads.
people that wear the slices of cheese on their head.
It's more of a block than a slice.
Right.
You're thinking, like, it's not a Kraft single on their head. That wouldn't be.
Okay,
That's
so like
not
a thick slice chunk of cheese on their head.
I feel like it would blow off. Like it'd be hard. How are you going to keep a cheese slice on your head? No,
Right,
it's the
right.
block.
What an interesting fan base is all I got to say, okay?
All right, there you go. For the log of the week, we've got the Lions, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. Lock it up.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
I'm registered dietitian Abby Sharp, and on my new podcast, Bite Back with Abby Sharp, I'll be dismantling the multi-billion-dollar diet industry that keeps us in a cycle of self-loathing and food fear. Join me every Tuesday for expert interviews, engaging conversations, and my signature science and sass to bust myths, correct misinformation, and help you break free from diet culture for good. Listen for free on the Seeker app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know what, Kirby? If you're going to hammer away on Vancouver for not having a, quote, proper Grey Cup party the way you have been all morning, we're going to bring in somebody to defend Vancouver and their point of view. His name is Ryan Williams. He is at Rumors all this week. Ryan, thanks for coming into the 92.1 City Studios.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I feel like I have to stick up for my adopted city a little bit.
Go get her.
There absolutely was a party, and it's at one of the largest. 16,000 people is the Vancouver Convention Center. So they had all the houses. You guys aren't going to like what I'm about to repeat back to you. Ryderville, very full. Ryderville was full.
Yeah,
sure. You can't do the Grey Cup without the Ryder fans.
They know how to party.
My dad is one of them. Yeah. The Lions Den was quite full. Spirit Edmonton was dead, but that's kind of the same as at Commonwealth. So that's just part of the course. They're going through rough times. Let's be kind to them. They do these Atlantic Schooners thing where you could get screeched in and get a lobster roll. Now that was obviously a little small. They have live fiddle bands all night. And then times are tough, so they combined all the Ontario teams into one kind of area. So it was.
It was fun. That sounds fun.
It was not. I can understand why people are like, no one's here. I'm like, yes, 16,000 people is a lot. Also, they didn't do it that you could buy individual tickets to the houses. You had to get a wristband that was $60. So that turned people away.
All right.
Well, see, the only time we really hear of a party in Vancouver is when they burn the city down and flip cars.
That is not true. We've had multiple parties since then.
I'll jump in with you, Ryan. That is not what Vancouver is only known for.
I mean, we've had 6. That's just not the only riot we're known for. As like a history buff, you have to go through the 6 riots because that wasn't even the first Canucks riot.
Very good point.
When it was the rink on Renfrew, there was a riot that started in East Van and made its way downtown. But the problem with the riot was that you got to go through East Hastings, so that stops the riot pretty quickly. People get a little nervous.
Area.
And they.
I've never been in a riot. Like I've never.
You've never had the.
I've never been a part of one.
Okay,
even by accident. I've just never driven through one and been like, "Oops, I drove into a riot."
Couple of cops at a house party, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe that's about your limit.
Right. That's the biggest.
This is a story I watched happen. I doubt I wasn't involved with. I was in grade 10 and the grade 12s that year. They started the bonfire. They started at the Bush Party was so big it could be seen from the city. So when first responders came to put it out, firemen, the grade 12s were like, "This is right." It was like their grad party, last turtle hump of the year out in the bush. They started whipping bottles at the firefighters. Which when you attack first responders in a developed country as a lunatic, you're going down. It's going over the radio.
You should.
So they came with helicopters and lights and then like quads and stuff and just wrangled everyone up. I watched a girl run full speed into a barbed wire fence at the hip. She was fine. She was fine, but it was like, it was crazy. And like a lot of it was very funny because one of the guys that threw the bottles, who's older, he got like pretty beat up by the cops. And I was like, you know what? Good.
You start throwing bottles, man. Okay, so you, back on track here, you were at the Grey Cup game.
Was at the Grey Cup game, yes.
And who were you? Did you have a jersey on?
I didn't realize I looked like, I don't know if you've ever seen the meme of what's his face, the really, really handsome, the guy, he's wearing like the NFL hat.
Lowe.
Yeah, Rob Lowe.
Yes.
Rob Lowe. I was Rob Loweing it. I was wearing a 99th Grey Cup shirt. That was when the Lions, the last time they won in BC, if I remember correctly.
Did you have please tell me you had a CFL hat on to go with that shirt?
No, I didn't.
Louis Pasaglia won the most. He was supposed to be the most valuable player.
Yeah.
If you remember, they gave him a car, and then they were embarrassed. They took it back because they got the award wrong. He won Best Canadian.
Oh. Yeah.
And they ended up giving him a vehicle.
Oh, wow.
That T-shirt represents a lot.
That was actually before. That's some Grey Cups before that. But yeah, I've been to 2 Grey Cups. Claros lost both. I saw him lose with Hamilton. I saw him in this one, and it wasn't until the game got going that I realized I was cheering for you guys. The lack of pressure. Look, I'm not a defensive mind. There's a reason I'm at Rumors Comedy Club 4 shows this weekend, Friday, Saturday. It's not because of my defensive prowess.
You've never been a defensive coordinator before?
No. Even when I coached high school football, I was like D-line, O-line. As soon as the coverages came out, they were like, "You shut up. You don't even know anything. Your hands are in the dirt. You don't understand anything. Cover 0 or anything." But sending 3 guys at a backup quarterback, 3 down linemen. I understand that's you got to send more pressure when it's a backup quarterback.
You know what? That came up a lot.
A lot
actually.
of conversation.
Good for you.
Yeah, that he just had like a lot of time. That's what I remember. And then just like a couple things didn't go the Bombers' way. And then when Zach was trying to kind of make things happen at the end, then some like big plays happened. So it was what really irks me is it just is the one. But everyone's gonna rip on Vancouver. Vancouver's 12 years ago, we would have 35,000 people in BC Place. We've been fans of the CA. It can't go. It can't keep going to Toronto.
Yeah.
It's not even on the front page of the sports
Ryan
section.
Williams, listen, I'm not. We have not been hammering on Vancouver. I think the CFL's gotten a lot bigger there. They have bigger crowds,
New ownership.
He is the man.
Yeah.
I saw a One Direction One Republic, One Direction.
Yes,
I like
what
One Direction.
He
a lot
kicked
better.
off his season with that, right?
Yeah. He had LL Cool J open the sea. He does like good
nice.
things. We were at 50. Also, Winnipeggers, if you don't know this, we were probably not putting it in your news. That 50-50 of almost $500,000 hasn't been claimed yet.
That was at the Grey Cup.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
check your pockets if you. I saw some sad faces flying back here on my flight over to Rumors on Tuesday. So check your pockets if you have the 50-50 ticket.
Next year, if you get booked for the same time, it'll be Grey Cup week here.
I have
we got
to
to bring Ryan in for that week.
Yes.
Oh, I would love that.
You're
I would love that
headlining
so
halftime.
much. That's it.
We're gonna push for that. Ryan Williams, everybody.
Honestly, I was like just kind of like waiting by as soon as before the Jonas Brothers like took the stage when they were setting it up. I was like, what if I just did 3 minutes?
Cool.
Just give her.
Just booed so hard, tasered, beaten with batons and dragged
I
out.
mean, the
Nothing
streaker didn't
happened.
get that.
Yeah.
What? Oh, so do people know about that?
Oh, yeah.
know about it.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah.
So is she also like
Friend of yours or?
no?
Was that your date?
No.
Well done if it was.
My date was my father. It was his birthday.
Dad, why do you have to streak?
Which I would not put it past him whatsoever. But yeah, she like dropped her phone and stuff. They also like, I think because of the gender stuff, like it was two like buff cops, so like they didn't want to tackle a naked woman.
Very respectful with her. They walked her off the field.
Yeah.
If it was you or I, Ryan, we're getting tackled.
There was this Irish guy 6 years ago at a Lions game who sued the Lions and the VPD because he just got leveled. Got leveled by the police. And Bobby Wagner with the LA Rams in the NFL, he took a streaker down who had like he got an injury because he burnt himself. The streaker had like a flare, but future gold jacket wearing Hall of Fame middle linebacker Bobby Wagner. Imagine being like 10 beers deep. You're like, now's a good time to take the clothes off and run around. And then an all-pro linebacker just levels you.
Oh, my God.
You're lucky to be alive at that point.
Yeah.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Let's get right at it here. And we'll both ask an extra question because Joe's not here, okay? He's away on vacation. Good morning. Would you like to play the name game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the excitement.
I like
now,
the enthusiasm.
have you ever played before? That's key.
I have not played before.
So you're a first-time name gamer.
Sure am.
We always start with your age because that's a crucial aspect of this.
I'm 43.
43 years old, just taking the notes because Joe's not here to take the notes. He's got the pad of paper.
Yeah, so you got to, and you're plucking them away over there.
It's like a formula.
Yeah.
It's like Goodwill Hunting. Joe keeps the formula on the pad.
That's important.
Okay, I'll go first. 43-year-old random female. When you are offered fries, baked potatoes, salad, soup at a restaurant, which one are you taking to go along with your, burger or whatever?
Fries, hands down, with honey dill.
Oh, the honey dill.
Such a Manitoban.
What about if they offer you the gravy? Because they always offer. You want some gravy on those? Do you take the gravy?
No.
Yeah.
Just the fries.
Okay.
I feel like there's like certain people that are gravy people.
Mm-hmm. And they always get it, and they dip everything in that
Yes.
gravy. Depends. Sometimes I'm in the mood for gravy. All right, next question.
If it's a clubhouse, I'll take the gravy.
Okay, you're dipping the clubhouse in the gravy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, it is a thick sandwich, so I would imagine like the
might as well have thick gravy
the
on the
gravy kind of helps it go down.
You don't want the roof of your mouth gets so raw, right?
Yeah,
you get
that's
that
right.
gravy to help.
That helps, yeah.
Helps it come out too. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Did you play a sport growing up, or a hobby, or were you a part of a club or something? Like you know what I mean? Like band instruments, something that
yearbook club.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was in band for 7 years.
Band.
Played the trombone.
Ooh, nice.
That's impressive.
Okay.
The arm reach on you must be great.
Do you still play it at parties every now and then? Hey, you got to bring out the trombone.
I actually dressed up as a marching band for a couple years ago and rented a trombone and blasted some amazing sounds.
Oh, that's awesome.
That people did not like. It wasn't really amazing. It was more like honking.
Okay, my final question. Do you have a favorite athlete, actor, band, a celeb of some form that you love?
I love Drew Barrymore.
Okay.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Me too.
Those are my questions. Kirby, your turn.
The whole time we interviewed Tom Green. We've interviewed him a couple times,
Yeah,
but
he's great.
both times I think we've interviewed him. The whole time I couldn't help but just think to myself, like, you were married to Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Like, can we just like...
Yeah.
Because he's
so cool.
usually going crazy in here, right? And you're like, wow, how did that happen?
Anyways, okay, so my questions. What's your ideal sandwich? There's a lot of sandwiches out there. You mentioned Clubhouse. Would that be your ideal sandwich?
I only order the Clubhouse at Headingley Grill.
Mm-hmm.
Very
So
specific.
no, I wouldn't say that's my go-to. Yep. A classic BLT.
Okay, good one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Are you still friends with anybody that you grew up with?
I am.
Okay. Okay. And last but not least, this is a little bit of a spicy question. We need your honesty.
Kirby, it's a family show.
Bring it on.
How many hidden photos do you have on your phone?
0.
Really?
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
that's not very exciting.
Time to guess. I'm going to say Megan.
Nope.
Kyla.
Nope.
That's very.
Oh, was Kyla close?
Nope.
Oh, because there's a hesitation. Shauna.
No.
Now, is that close?
No, I'm just trying not to say no the same way every time.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's fair.
You're throwing me off. Okay,
Really
Kirby.
thinking this through.
Kirby, go ahead.
Okay, is it Jennifer?
It is not.
Is the J? Is that it? No.
Nope.
Okay. What about Amanda?
Nope.
Okay. What about Michelle?
No.
So we're not close yet?
No.
Is it common or obscure?
I wouldn't say it's super common.
Kimberly?
No.
Crystal? I don't know.
Shoshana.
Nope.
You said Shauna earlier.
Yeah,
so what
well,
did you do?
I
Just add Shoshana?
She probably would have
That's
told.
basically how my dad came up with the name Sholinda. He's like, Linda's too boring. I'm
Imagine-
going to put Shaw in front of it.
You got to believe she would have told us Shauna was close, too.
Yeah, I would have.
Okay.
We don't
I
know.
would have.
Can you end this train
Yeah,
wreck, please?
we don't know.
It's Dana.
Dana.
Dana. That is like, I love that name, but
It
yeah,
is.
you don't see that name often.
Show Dana. You know what?
Shodana. Woo!
Going forward, I'm Shodana.
You are.
Shodana.
Yep.
Yes. What a beautiful name. I love it.
You are welcome, and have a good weekend.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
92.1 City, Winnipeg's rock station. Philly, Joe, and Kirby. Joe's away for a couple days. Back next week.
We were just talking about snow because this weekend is really going to be when we see
We
see
think.
it.
We-
I don't want to make like I'm not a weather guy like Joe with a knee that needs a replacement, but I'll tell you this much.
I don't think his knee needs to be replaced
I'm
yet.
telling you though, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Like the crunching and
Someday, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think it's hanging in there. It gives us good weather forecasts.
And that's why you can't knock it. He doesn't want to get on that surgery list anytime soon. Because he wants to be able to tell the weather. But yeah, like this weekend we do have snow. Today, like a 60% chance of it. Later this morning, early this afternoon. Again, we don't have a window in here. So if you could be our eyes.
Yeah, tell us if you start to see some snow
Yeah.
somewhere in Winnipeg or on the outskirts.
But then tomorrow it like warms up to -6 and we got some sun. And then on Sunday it's -4 and then it just says snow.
Yeah, Environment Canada just has snow. Like not a chance, just straight up snow. And then the Weather Network has 5 centimeters in the forecast for Sunday. And then they have more coming in early next week. Snow Tuesday, Wednesday, another 3 centimeters possible on Thursday. I mean, it was supposed to snow last week and it didn't develop. It didn't happen. Now, the temps were milder, so maybe that's why. But we'll see if this actually happens or we get as much as we're supposed to. We'll keep an eye on it.
It's definitely chillier this morning. Like with the wind chill, it's -10 right now.
Good job. You're doing good. Like without Joe here, I know the weather is tough for you, Curbs.
You need the dew point. You need the pressure.
Well, I'll tell you,
What about the humidity?
You got a complaint at 6:30 this morning.
I know. Wow, that was quite the complaint.
Morning, a little nitpick here. The wind is not considered gusting, Kirby, until it's at least 18 mph, so miles per hour, and 10. So it's if he's saying if it's gusting 18 and 10.
See, and that's the thing. The miles per hour really screwed me up.
Yeah,
that's where he got me, or he or she.
Let me read it correctly here. I was sort of fudged that up. Until it's at least 18 and 10 over average wind. So 15 is not gusting. This from a kiteboarder who knows wind. Wow. I mean, I think that's the first
kiteboarder.
It's got to be the first kiteboarder.
I don't think I've ever met a kiteboarder. I didn't even know that was a thing. Kiteboarding. Hang on, I got to check this out.
We need to put that in there. He is the kiteboarder, or she.
Is
That's the name that we give them on the text line from now on.
I'll tell you, you really need the wind when you do something like that.
Well, yeah. Thanks, Kirby. You're not doing that without wind. There we go. I'm telling you. You're on fire this morning.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
So at lunchtime today, almost 20% of people will do this.
So essentially, your average lunchtime, 20% of people will do this.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, City.
Philly.
Take a dump. Use the facilities.
No.
Well, when else?
Yeah, well, maybe they go home for lunch because you said it before that you won't do that here. So.
Well, if I really have to. But I mean, how often do you really have to?
Well, I hope not very often.
No, I'm pretty good most of the time.
At that point, you should probably look into some assistance.
Well, a lot of people use the bath.
Fiber.
We'll do that at work. No problem. I got no problem with it. It's just not something I really enjoy doing.
That's something I know about you. You know, Phil never uses the washroom at work.
No, I'll use it.
Number two.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm gonna go with take a nap.
Take a little siesta.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
Isn't it crazy that what country is it where they actually like where they do have siestas?
Give you nap time at work?
Yes. It's like a thing.
780 City, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Is it take a walk, exercise?
Not exercise, not getting in your steps.
Probably more. I think a lot of people will go for a walk, try to get outside.
Yeah, I see that a lot at driving by St. Boniface Hospital. Like a lot of the healthcare workers on their break will go for like a walk. Yeah.
Out of there, yep. For Ram Motorsports tickets, good morning, City.
Hi. Is it work through their lunch?
No, not work through their lunch. No. At lunchtime today, almost 20% of people will do this.
Hello there.
I think they call their significant other, possibly.
No, not check in on their partner.
That was going to be one of my guesses. Make a personal call.
Thank you.
I would think that this number would be a little higher, like on a day like today. Let's just say that.
No, on a day like today,
like
what does that
heading
mean?
into the weekend.
Heading on a Friday, this number. Okay.
So at lunchtime today, almost 20% of people will do this.
Hi, City.
I was going to say brush their teeth.
No, not brush their teeth.
Used to be a guy we used to work with that would do that.
He brought his toothbrush to work.
Don't you remember? He would
Some
walk
people
around.
Are really good about oral health care.
Walk around the office brushing his teeth. It was really weird. Hi, City.
Is it like skip lunch?
No, not skip lunch. No.
So just to give that hint again, Kirby was saying on a day like today, on a Friday.
On a Friday, I feel like this number would be higher than 20%, but in this case, at lunchtime today, almost 20% of people will be doing this.
Good morning, City.
Hi. Is calling in sick, going home early?
No, that's a great guess, though. Like wrapping it up sooner rather than later.
Like I'm good. I tried.
Like I got a halfer in.
I worked the morning.
That's all you get from me.
Can't do it. Got to get out of here. Hi there.
Hey, you guys got any lifelines left?
We sure.
Yeah, we got
I
Phil.
would say so. I'm gonna say swipe. Little Tinder action, dating service.
Oh, wow. Okay. No,
well, on a
that's
Friday?
not it. Yeah, that's a good, setting up your plans.
Sure. That's not it, though?
No, not it. No.
Maybe you're looking for a nooner. Hi, City.
Skyrockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight.
Hello, City. Please save us.
Is it have a drink?
Yes.
Oh, have a drink at lunch.
Drink, yes.
Oof.
At lunch today, almost 20% of people are going to be drinking some alcohol.
I would say in the 80s, 70s, that's like 85%. Now we're down to 20.
Now we're down to 20.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, log it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.